Welcome back to ZE Coins. We dive deep into the world of rare coins and collectible currency. If you have any old quarters lying around you, might be sitting on a small fortune today, we are counting down the top 8 most valuable Washington quarter-dollar coins that could be worth thousands or even millions of dollars in the current coin collecting market. So grab your coin jar and let us explore some hidden treasures. We're unlocking the secrets of the 1966 Washington quarter dollar. You may have one of these lying around in a drawer or jingling in your change jar. But what if I told you that this common-looking coin could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars? Get ready, because this episode might just change how you look at your spare change. Let's start with a bit of history. The 1966 Washington quarter was struck during a unique time in American coinage. Just a year earlier, in 1965, the United States Mint removed silver from most of its circulating coins due to rising silver prices and a national coin shortage. From 1965 onwards, quarters were minted with a clad composition, a copper core sandwiched between two layers of copper-nickel alloy. That means, unlike quarters minted before 1965, the 1966 quarter contains no silver. It may not sound rare at first, but here's where it gets interesting. In 1966, the mint produced more than 800 million quarters. With such a high mintage, you might think there's nothing special about them. But some of these coins are far from ordinary. First, let's talk about condition. Most 1966 quarters you find in circulation today will show heavy wear. But if you happen to find one in pristine condition, known as mint state or MS condition, its value can jump significantly. Coins graded MS-65 and above are considered high quality by collectors. An MS-66 example can fetch between $30 to $50. And the elusive MS-67? That one can bring in over $200 or more at auction. But wait, it gets better. Some 1966 quarters were struck with incredible precision and exhibit what's known as full strike details. Collectors refer to these as full torch or full drum coins depending on the type, and in the case of quarters, the most common term is full strike. Coins with a full strike and top-tier luster are rare and command premium prices. Now let's go deeper. What about errors? Error coins are where the real money lies. Mistakes at the mint can turn a common coin into a six-figure treasure. One of the most famous types of valuable 1966 Washington quarters is the double die. This error occurs when the coin is struck twice by the die, resulting in a doubling effect that can be seen in the lettering or details like Washington's I or the motto "In God We Trust." These coins are extremely rare and can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the severity and condition. Then there's the off-center strike. If the die hits the coin off its center axis, part of the design will be missing. A dramatic off-center error, say 50% or more, especially with a visible date, can sell for over $500. Another highly sought-after error is the transitional planchet error. That's when a coin is struck on a metal planchet intended for a different year or denomination. Although no confirmed 1966 silver quarters have been officially verified, rumors and unconfirmed examples have circulated for years. If such a coin were to be authenticated, its value could easily skyrocket into the tens of thousands. Now let's shift to the market. So what is the 1966 Washington quarter worth today? In average circulated condition, it's still worth 25 cents. That's the harsh truth for most pocket change examples. But for those in uncirculated condition, especially with high grades, prices range from $20 to several $100. Error coins, as mentioned, can be worth anywhere from $50 to over $5,000 depending on rarity and demand. Auction houses have recorded sales of top-graded 1966 quarters reaching values above $1,000. And in some cases, with unique provenance or dramatic minting flaws, even higher. This proves that condition and error types play a critical role in determining a coin's value. But there's more than just selling value. Coin collectors often value history, rarity, and beauty. A well-struck 1966 quarter in mint state with rich toning can be a showpiece in any collection. And if you're lucky enough to find one with a recognized error, you might just have a jackpot sitting in your change. Before we wrap up, here's how to check your own 1966 quarters at home. Grab a magnifying glass. Look closely at the lettering, especially Liberty, the date, and the motto "In God We Trust." Any signs of doubling could mean a double die error. Check the coin's rim and edge. Misalignments or missing details could suggest an off-center strike or planchet issue. Look for pristine surfaces and strong details, particularly in Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers on the reverse. And if you think you have something truly unique, don't guess. Send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Authentication and grading can significantly increase the value of your coin and make it easier to sell to collectors or auction houses. So the next time you're going through change, keep an eye out for the 1966 Washington quarter. While many are worth only face value, there are hidden gems among them. Coins in mint condition or with rare errors can be worth real money, sometimes big money. We're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1986 D Washington quarter dollar. At first glance, it may look like any ordinary quarter you'd find in your pocket change. But as you'll see in this video, certain 1986 D quarters are not only historical but can also be worth a surprising amount of money, sometimes hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on condition, rarity, and demand in the coin market. Let's start with the background of this coin. The Washington quarter was first issued in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. It quickly became a permanent part of the U.S. currency and has remained one of the most circulated coins in the country. By 1986, the quarter had already seen over 5 decades of circulation. The 1986 D Washington quarter was struck at the Denver Mint, identified by the D Mint mark just to the right of Washington's ponytail. That year, the Denver Mint produced a whopping 504 million quarters. So naturally, you may be wondering, how can a coin with such a high mintage be worth anything more than 25 cents? Well, here's where things get interesting. While the majority of 1986 D quarters are only worth their face value, a small percentage have qualities that make them highly collectible. These include coins in uncirculated condition, coins with mint errors, and coins with exceptionally high grades from professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. Let's break that down. First, let's talk about condition. Collectors look for coins in the best possible shape. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect, flawless coin. A 1986 D quarter in average circulated condition is only worth about 25 cents. But in mint state condition, meaning it shows no signs of wear and retains its original luster, the value can go up significantly. For example, an MS-65 graded 1986 D quarter can sell for about $5 to $15. But it doesn't stop there. Higher grade examples like MS-66 or MS-67 can fetch between $40 to $200 or more at auction. And believe it or not, there are a few known specimens that have achieved grades as high as MS-68, and those can go for hundreds or even over $1,000, especially if the coin has eye appeal and minimal contact marks. Now let's move on to the topic that really excites collectors: errors and varieties. While most 1986 D quarters were struck normally, there are rare examples with striking errors that dramatically increase their value. Some of the most sought-after errors include double dies, off-center strikes, and coins struck on the wrong planchet. Let's take a closer look at double die errors. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin has a double design, often most visible in the lettering or date. While no major double die for the 1986 D quarter is officially listed in the Red Book, there are minor varieties that have caught the attention of collectors and are still worth watching out for. Then there are off-center strikes. If the coin wasn't properly aligned when it was struck, part of the design may be missing. A minor off-center error might be worth $10 to $20, but a more dramatic off-center strike, say 50% off and still showing the full date and mint mark, can bring in $100 to $200 or more depending on the demand. Another key error to watch for is the coin struck on the wrong planchet. This is when a quarter is accidentally struck on a blank meant for a different denomination, such as a dime or even a foreign coin. These are extremely rare but can fetch hundreds to thousands of dollars at auction depending on the details. So how can you tell if your 1986 D quarter is valuable? Start by checking the condition. If it's in uncirculated shape, it's already more desirable. Look for signs of mint luster, a sharp strike, and the absence of scratches or wear. Then, inspect the coin closely under magnification to spot any possible errors or doubling. And if you think you have something special, consider sending it to a grading service for authentication and professional evaluation. Now let's talk about the current market value. As of this year, The most common 1986 D quarters in circulated condition are still worth only face value. But coins graded MS 65 or higher have been consistently selling in the range of $10 to $200 depending on the grade. The highest known grade for a 1986 D quarter is MS 68, and those ultra-high-end coins can reach auction prices of over $1,000, though they are exceedingly rare and often sold through specialized dealers or auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers. So in summary, while most 1986 D quarters won't make you rich, there are exceptions. If you're lucky enough to find one in pristine condition or with a dramatic mint error, you might be holding a coin worth significantly more than 25 cents. It's worth checking your spare change, old coin rolls, and inherited collections. You never know what hidden treasures you might find. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a future episode where we uncover the hidden value in your everyday coins. Drop a comment below if you have a 1986 D quarter in your collection, and let us know its condition or if you've spotted any cool errors. We're diving deep into a small piece of American history that could be hiding in your pocket change. We're talking about the 1987 D Washington quarter, a coin that seems common at first glance but has become a hidden gem for numismatists and collectors alike. Let's start with the basics. The Washington quarter has been in circulation since 1932, first introduced to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Over the decades, the design has changed several times, but the obverse side, the side with George Washington's portrait, remained largely unchanged until the state quarters were introduced in 1999. Now let's zero in on the 1987 D quarter. The D mint mark stands for the Denver Mint, where this particular coin was struck. In 1987, the Denver Mint produced around 655 million Washington quarters. That's right, over 500 million. So how could something so common become valuable? The answer lies in the condition, rarity, and collector demand. While most of these coins went straight into circulation and got worn out through everyday use, a few rare examples survived in pristine condition. And among those, some are so well preserved, so flawlessly struck, that they command eye-popping prices at auction. Let's talk about what makes a 1987 D quarter valuable. First, condition is everything. A coin that has been circulated and shows signs of wear might only be worth its face value, 25 cents. But a coin that has never been used, known as being in mint state, especially mint state 67 or higher on the Sheldon grading scale, can be worth much more. According to recent auction records and price guides, a 1987 D quarter graded MS67 can fetch between $50 and $100.
Anmas irurogeita sortsi?
Now we're talking serious money. Prices have reached over $500 for a single coin in that grade. And coins graded MS69 are nearly impossible to find. But if you have one, it's like hitting the numismatic jackpot. Some collectors would pay over $1,000 for it. Now, let's talk about errors and varieties. These are the real wild cards. Error coins from the Denver Mint are rare, but they do exist for 1987 D quarters. Examples include off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, or die cracks. One particularly valuable error is the double die reverse. If you find one with clear doubling on the lettering or the eagle's feathers, you could be holding a coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the severity and visibility of the error. Another thing that adds to the value is the coin's luster and eye appeal. Collectors pay close attention to the sharpness of the strike, the reflectivity of the fields, and the absence of nicks and scratches. A brilliant, shiny quarter that looks like it just came out of the mint is always going to be worth more. So what's the current market value of a 1987 D Washington quarter? As of now, most circulated examples are still worth just 25 cents. But if you have one in mint state, especially MS66 or higher, you're looking at $25 to $100, and potentially much more if it's flawless or features a rare error. Auction sites like Heritage Auctions and eBay have shown that some of these coins are being sold for anywhere from a few hundred to over $1,000. Again, depending on grade, rarity, and errors. Professional Coin Grading Service, or PCGS, and Numismatic Guarantee Company, or NGC, have certified very few examples above MS67, which is why those top-tier coins are so valuable. If you're wondering how to find one, check your old change jars, coin rolls from the bank, or even estate sales. You never know, one of these high-grade 1987 D quarters could be sitting in a drawer, forgotten, waiting to be discovered. So to wrap it all up, The 1987 D Washington quarter might seem like an ordinary coin, but under the right circumstances, it can be worth a small fortune. If you're a collector, it's worth keeping an eye out for one in uncirculated condition. If you're just starting out, it's a great reminder that even modern coins can carry big surprises. Whether it's condition, errors, or just pure luck, your next valuable coin could be hiding in plain sight. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or learned something new today, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a new upload. And let me know in the comments. Have you ever found a rare Washington quarter in your change? I'd love to hear your story. We uncover the hidden treasures in your pocket change. Today, we're diving into the fascinating story of the 1990 D Washington quarter. This might look like an ordinary coin, but under the right circumstances, it could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Let's explore the history, the hidden varieties, and the current market value of this coin. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American currency since 1932, introduced to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, the coin has seen various mint marks, metal compositions, and design changes over the decades. By 1990, the Washington quarter was struck primarily in copper-nickel clad, with silver issues reserved only for special sets. Now, let's zero in on the 1990 D Washington quarter. The D Mint mark stands for the Denver Mint, which produced over 927 million quarters that year. That's right, nearly a billion coins. With such a high mintage, it's easy to assume these coins are all common and low in value. But that's not the whole story. What makes a 1990 D Washington quarter valuable? It all comes down to condition, mint errors, and rare varieties. First, let's talk condition. Coins graded in mint state 65 or higher can fetch a premium. If you have a 1990 D quarter in pristine condition, showing no wear and boasting strong luster, collectors may pay anywhere from $5 to $30. That might not sound like a fortune, but it's a huge jump from face value. However, it's the error coins that really grab attention. Some of the most valuable 1990 D quarters are those with dramatic minting mistakes. These include off-center strikes, double dies, and coins struck on the wrong planchet. For example, a 1990 D quarter struck on a penny planchet, meaning a copper coin blank instead of a quarter, can be worth over $1,000 depending on its condition. Another prized variety is the double die obverse, where details on the front of the coin appear slightly duplicated due to a misalignment during the die-making process. While no widely recognized double die exists for the 1990 D quarter, new discoveries are always possible. Always keep an eye out for doubling on the word Liberty, the date, or Washington's profile. So, how can you tell if your 1990 D quarter is valuable? Start by examining it under good light. Use a magnifying glass or coin loop to check for errors. Look at the mint mark. Is it clear and well-defined? Inspect the edges and rims. Any signs of an off-center strike or missing details could indicate a rare variety. When it comes to grading and selling, coins certified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC tend to bring in the highest prices. A 1990 D quarter graded MS67 by PCGS, with sharp strike and virtually no flaws, has sold at auction for over $150. That's a massive leap from a simple pocket find. As of this year, the coin market has been especially hot. Precious metal prices, collector demand, and historical interest have driven up values across the board. Even common coins like the 1990 D quarter have seen increased interest. Coin shops and online marketplaces like eBay, Heritage Auctions, and Great Collections report steady demand for high-grade examples and unique errors. So what should you do if you think you have a valuable 1990 D quarter? Step 1. Protect it. Don't clean it. Cleaning can reduce its value. Store it in a coin holder or a soft cloth and get it checked by a professional. Step 2. Research. Look up recent auction results for similar coins. Step 3. Consider certification. If your coin appears flawless or shows a rare error, getting it graded can help you realize its full market value. To wrap up, while most 1990 D Washington quarters are worth only 25 cents, a small number can bring in big money. Whether through mint state condition or rare mint errors, this seemingly common coin has the potential to be a hidden gem in your change jar. We're diving deep into one of the most talked about coins in modern American coinage, the 1996 D Washington quarter dollar. You may have seen it before in your change jar or your pocket, but don't be fooled. This little piece of American history might just be worth a fortune if you know what to look for. Let's start with a little background. The Washington quarter has been a staple in U.S. currency since 1932. Originally introduced to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, it quickly became a regular part of circulation. Fast forward to 1996, a year when over 900 million quarters were minted at the Denver Mint, to be precise, around 906 million. That sounds like a lot, right? So why is the 1996 D quarter sometimes considered special? The truth lies in the condition, the strike, and in some very unique errors. Now, the standard 1996 D quarter in circulated condition isn't going to break the bank. Most of them are worth just face value. But what collectors really go after are coins in uncirculated or mint state condition. A 1996 D quarter graded MS65 by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC is worth a few dollars, usually between 5 and 10. But that's just the beginning. As the grade improves, so does the value. In MS66, prices jump to around $25. An MS67 example can go for $50 to $70. But if you have a 1996 D Washington quarter in pristine MS68 condition, you're looking at a coin that can be worth hundreds and possibly over $1,000. Why? Because coins with this level of detail, shine, and flawless surfaces are incredibly rare. Even more exciting are the error coins. Let's talk about the double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and other minting mistakes that can make your quarter a hidden gem. Some 1996 D quarters have been found with doubling in the lettering or numbers, especially in the word Liberty or the date. These are known as double die errors and can significantly increase a coin's value. Depending on severity and visibility, such an error could raise a quarter's value into the hundreds. Then there are off-center strikes. If the design is misaligned during minting, you might see a portion of the coin blank or with a shifted image. These errors are not only rare but also fascinating. Off-center 1996 D quarters with around 50% of the design missing but the date still visible can fetch anywhere from $50 to $200 or more. And don't overlook die cracks or cuds. These are raised lines or blobs on the coin caused by a damaged die. While not as dramatic as a double die or off-center strike, these errors are still sought after by specialists and can sell for premiums depending on size and placement. Now, let's talk about some real auction results. In recent years, a few high-grade 1996 D quarters have stunned collectors at auction. In 2019, a 1996 D quarter, graded MS68, by PCGS sold for over $1,200. That's a massive return on a 25-cent coin. But again, the key is condition. Coins that appear fresh from the mint, with full detail, no scratches, no wear, and perfect luster, those are the ones that bring in the big bucks. You might be wondering how to find one of these gems. Start by going through rolls of quarters from the bank, checking pocket change, or visiting your local coin shop. Always examine coins under good lighting and use a magnifier to catch the finer details. Look closely at the edges, the date, the lettering, and George Washington's profile. Any unusual marks, doubling, or misalignments could point to a valuable error. Another tip: if you believe you have a high-quality 1996 D quarter or one with a possible error, consider having it graded by a reputable grading service. A professionally graded coin not only holds more market value but also gives buyers confidence if you decide to sell. So, what's the current market looking like for the 1996 D quarter? In 2025, demand remains strong for high-grade and error quarters. As more collectors enter the hobby, prices for certified high-grade coins have remained stable or even risen. A coin in MS65 is still worth around $5 to $10. MS66 examples go for $20 to $30. MS67 brings $50 or more. And MS68? That's where we see the real fireworks, often over $1,000. Error coins continue to be hot items, especially on online auction sites like eBay and major numismatic platforms. If you list a certified double die or off-center strike quarter, expect a bidding war. In short, the 1996 D Washington quarter might seem ordinary at first glance, but there's real potential for collectors and casual finders alike. Whether you're searching for perfection in mint state or chasing down rare minting mistakes, this quarter offers excitement and opportunity. So next time you get change at the grocery store or cash out your coin jar, take a moment to check your quarters. That little 1996 D coin could be worth a whole lot more than 25 cents. We are diving deep into the story of one of the most popular state quarters ever released, the 1999 D Washington quarter, featuring the 1788 Georgia state design. Believe it or not, some of these coins are worth far more than just 25 cents. In fact, a few examples have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. If you have one of these in your collection or even in your spare change, keep watching. This might just be your lucky day. Let's go back to the year 1999. This was the very first year of the U.S. Mint's legendary 50-state quarters program, a historic initiative that began with the goal of honoring every U.S. state with a unique quarter design. The program started with Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Georgia, and Connecticut. The Georgia quarter was the fourth release of that year, and it quickly became one of the most collected quarters in the entire series. Now, what makes the 1999 D1788 Georgia quarter so special? First, let's break down the basics. The obverse side features the traditional portrait of George Washington. On the reverse, we see a beautiful image of a peach, which is Georgia's state fruit, surrounded by oak sprigs with 13 leaves, representing the original 13 colonies. The coin also features the state motto, wisdom, justice, and moderation, along with the date 1788, which marks the year Georgia became a state. The D Mint mark indicates it was struck at the Denver Mint. And here's where things get really interesting. While hundreds of millions of these quarters were made, specifically over 450 million at the Denver Mint alone, not all of them are created equal. Some quarters from this release contain rare errors or have been preserved in such exceptional condition that collectors are willing to pay top dollar. So what kinds of errors or features should you be looking for? Let's start with die errors. These can include off-center strikes, double dies, and planchet errors. A well-known variety is the double die reverse, where elements of the peach, leaves, or lettering appear slightly doubled due to a misaligned die strike. These coins can sell for between $50 and $200 depending on the severity of the doubling and the coin's condition. But even more valuable are Georgia quarters that are certified in mint state condition by third-party grading services like PCGS or NGC. Coins that have never been circulated, with no scratches, wear, or fingerprints, especially those graded MS-67 or higher, can bring in serious money. For example, a 1999 D Georgia quarter graded MS-68 by PCGS sold at auction for over $3,500. That's right, a simple quarter, worth a fortune because of its condition and rarity at that high-grade level. So what should you do if you have a 1999 D Georgia quarter? First, examine it closely under good lighting. Look for any signs of doubling or off-center images. Then check the coin's overall condition. If it looks uncirculated and shows strong detail with no visible damage, you may want to consider sending it to a grading service. Now let's talk about the current market value. As of now, circulated 1999 D Georgia quarters are generally worth between 25 cents and $1. But error coins or high-grade uncirculated examples can go for much more. Graded MS-65 coins typically sell for $10 to $20. MS-66 can range from $50 to $100. MS-67 examples can command several $100s. And MS-68 examples are the jackpot, ranging from $1,000 to over $3,000. Depending on demand and market trends, one factor affecting the value is the rarity of high grades from the Denver Mint. Coins from the Philadelphia Mint were often more common in higher grades, but Denver-struck coins had more issues with planchet quality and striking consistency. That makes pristine examples of the 1999 D Georgia quarter even more desirable. Collectors also prize quarters that come from mint sets or proof sets, especially if they are still sealed in original packaging. Those coins are often better preserved and can reach higher grades more easily. To sum it up, the 1999 D Washington quarter with the Georgia 1788 design may seem ordinary at first glance, but under the right circumstances it can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Whether it's an error coin, a high-grade uncirculated piece, or a unique variety, there are many reasons this coin remains a hot item in the numismatic world. So before you spend that change in your pocket or roll up a stack of quarters, take a closer look. You never know when a hidden gem might be sitting right in your hand. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more rare coin breakdowns, and turn on notifications so you never miss a chance to learn about coins that could be worth a fortune. Drop a comment if you have a 1999 Georgia quarter and tell us what condition. We dive deep into rare and valuable coins that could be hiding in your change jar or coin collection. Today, we're uncovering the secrets behind two remarkable Washington quarters that are making headlines in the numismatic world: the 2000p quarter and the coin marked with the date 1788. Let's begin with the 2000p quarter, minted in Philadelphia. This coin is part of the legendary 50-state quarters program, launched by the United States Mint between 1999 and 2008. Each state was honored with a unique design on the reverse of the quarter. The 2000p quarters include 5 state designs: Massachusetts, Maryland, South Carolina, New Hampshire, and Virginia. Among these, the most intriguing for collectors is the 2000p South Carolina quarter. What makes this quarter so special is the chance of finding an error variety, particularly the ones struck on experimental planchets. These experimental planchets were originally intended for the Sacagawea dollar coin and somehow were used to strike quarters. These error coins are made from a golden-colored alloy, making them visually distinct and extremely valuable. In recent auctions, these have sold for over $7,000 depending on condition and authentication. Another popular error from the 2000p quarters is the off-center strike. This error occurs when the coin is not properly aligned during minting, leaving part of the design missing. Depending on the degree of misalignment, these can sell for hundreds of dollars. Even more elusive are double die errors, where the design appears to have been stamped twice, creating a doubling effect especially visible in the inscriptions and date. While rare, such errors can drive a quarter's value up to the high hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Now let's shift to the quarters marked with the year 1788. This date might sound confusing at first. How could a coin be from 1788 when quarters weren't even minted until 1796? The answer lies in the statehood quarters. The reverse of each state quarter shows the year that state joined the Union. For example, the Georgia quarter, released in 1999, shows the date 1788 because Georgia became a state that year. The same goes for other early states like Connecticut, Massachusetts, and others minted in 1999 and 2000. Among these, the 1999 Georgia and New Jersey quarters with the date 1788 have become particularly valuable due to certain minting errors and conditions. High-grade examples, especially those graded MS68 and above by professional services like PCGS or NGC, can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. Coins with deep cameo finishes, satin surfaces, or flawless strike details are especially sought after by serious collectors. Now let's talk numbers. How much are these coins really worth in today's market? A regular 2000p quarter in circulated condition is generally worth its face value, 25 cents. But if you happen to find one in mint state, especially MS67 or higher, values begin to climb rapidly. A 2000p South Carolina quarter graded MS67 recently sold for over $100. The same coin in MS68 condition can reach up to $500 or more. And remember, if you stumble across one of the rare experimental planchet versions, your coin could be worth several $1,000s, even in average condition. As for the statehood quarters with 1788, most are common in circulated condition, but mint state examples with flawless luster, no marks, and strong eye appeal can sell for anywhere from $50 to several hundred. And with the right error, such as a double die, off-center strike, or clipped planchet, values can surge even higher. If you want to find one of these valuable quarters, there are a few tips to keep in mind. First, always check your pocket change. You'd be surprised how many rare coins are still out there in circulation. Second, invest in a good magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to check for doubling and other small errors. Third, consider joining a local coin club or online community where collectors share finds and knowledge. And lastly, when you find a potentially valuable coin, get it authenticated and graded by a reputable service. This will ensure its value is recognized if you choose to sell or auction it. To wrap it up, the 2000p quarter and the state quarters dated 1788 are more than just loose change. With the right condition or error, these coins can be worth serious money. Keep looking, keep learning, and you just might uncover a treasure in your own home. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell so you never miss a new video on coin collecting and hidden treasures. Drop a comment below if you found any rare quarters or if you have questions about coins in your collection. We are diving deep into a fascinating modern coin that's been making waves in the numismatic world. That coin is the 2021 D Washington quarter dollar from the Denver Mint. You may be surprised to learn that even a coin this recent can be worth much more than face value. In fact, some examples are being sold for hundreds and even thousands of dollars depending on a few key factors. So let's take a closer look at the coin itself, its design background, why certain versions are valuable, and what collectors are paying for them right now on the market. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American currency since 1932 when it was first introduced to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. The original design by John Flanagan remained in place until 1998, but in 1999 the U.S. Mint launched the famous State Quarters program, which ran until 2008. That was followed by the America the Beautiful series, which lasted from 2010 to 2021. Now, the 2021 quarter is special for a couple of reasons. First, it marked the very end of the America the Beautiful series. But even more importantly, the 2021 quarter introduced a brand new reverse design that would carry over into a new era. That design featured the image of General George Washington crossing the Delaware River, a bold and patriotic scene, symbolizing one of the turning points in the American Revolution. The design was based on the 1851 painting by Emanuel Leutze, and it truly brought history to life on a piece of metal. So what about the obverse? That remained the familiar portrait of Washington facing left, the same one that's been used on quarters since 1932, although in slightly modernized form. The D Mint mark stands for the Denver Mint, which produced millions of these coins. But here's the twist. Even though these coins were minted in high numbers, not all 2021 D quarters are created equal. Some have major errors. Others are in pristine condition with no signs of circulation. And those are the coins that collectors are going crazy for. Let's break it down, starting with error coins. In 2021, some Denver minted quarters were struck with what's known as die breaks, cuds, and misalignments. These minting errors occur when part of the die breaks off or shifts during the coin stamping process. You might see an extra blob of metal or a part of the design that looks strange or incomplete. One 2021 D quarter with a die break near the hat of Washington crossing the Delaware sold for over $250 online. Another with a dramatic off-center strike brought in over $400. And here's the kicker. If that coin is still in uncirculated condition, or even better, in a certified high grade, it could fetch even more. Which brings us to grading. Professional grading companies like PCGS and NGC evaluate coins based on their condition using a 70-point scale. A coin that's graded MS67 or higher is considered extremely high quality and hard to find, especially for modern coins. Some 2021 D quarters graded MS67 or MS68 have sold for upwards of $500 to $1,000 at auction. That's a huge return on a coin that originally cost 25 cents. Another factor that affects value is population. If only a few coins have been found in that top grade, then the price goes up due to rarity. For example, as of now, only a handful of 2021 D quarters are certified in MS68 condition by PCGS. That makes them extremely desirable for collectors trying to complete a registry set or simply own the finest known examples. But let's not forget about circulation fines. Even if your 2021 D quarter isn't a high grade or doesn't have an error, it can still be worth more than face value if it's in great shape. Many collectors are paying $1 to $5 for lightly circulated examples, especially if they want to complete a set of modern quarters. Keep an eye out for strong luster, sharp details, and no major scratches or dings. Those are the kinds of coins that are worth pulling aside. So what should you do if you find a 2021 D Washington quarter in your pocket change? First, check for any unusual marks or features. Look for doubling die cracks, die chips, or off-center strikes. Then assess the condition. If it looks perfect, consider getting it graded. If it's got a cool error, take pictures and check online auction listings for similar examples. You could be holding onto a mini treasure without even knowing it. As of now, the market for 2021 D quarters is still very active. eBay listings and coin shows continue to reflect strong demand for both high-grade and error coins. And since it's such a recent issue, there's still time to search rolls and bank boxes for hidden gems. Collectors know that modern coins can become tomorrow's rare finds, and the 2021 D quarter is a perfect example of that potential. To sum it up, the 2021 D Washington quarter dollar is more than just loose change. It represents the closing chapter of one coin series and the opening of another. With its powerful design, historical importance, and the possibility of valuable errors or high grades, it's quickly becoming a favorite among modern collectors. Whether you're new to coin collecting or a seasoned expert, keep an eye out for this one, because sometimes the coins we overlook can be worth a lot more than we think. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or interesting, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into coins that might just change your wallet and your world. Leave a comment below if you found a 2021 D quarter or want to learn more about any specific coins. Until next time, happy collecting and good luck treasure hunting.